What's good, racing world? This is Mr. Matt Racing. My name's Matt Dobbs, and this is a new edition of Time Trial Tuesday. This past weekend, NASCAR hit the Brickyard. But I gotta tell you, there's danger ahead for the Cup Series field next year. And the Brickyard 400 saw absolutely horrendous racing. The worst I've ever seen. But I'll get to that in a second. Let's just get right into it. Starting off with this year's Brickyard 400, it became Heim time at the Brickyard. Corey Heim holds off Christopher Bell and Joey Logano for his second career Cup Series win and on the season in that 67 for 2311 Racing. And yeah, there is danger ahead for this Cup Series field next season, because next season is when he's going full-time. But he's already showing this year that he is probably going to be a championship contender in his rookie season next season. We are seeing things out of this kid that we have not seen since Jeff Gordon. We are seeing things that we thought we would see out of Connor Zilisch this year. But Heim as a part-timer is the one that's creating all these storylines that are worth talking about. And I tell you what, his little feud with Carson Hocevar in the middle of the race was pretty funny too. He's trying to keep him a lap down after Hocevar made a pit stop earlier in the cycle. Successful at doing that. And then when Heim pulls into pit, yeah, he gets told he's number one. That's some entertaining stuff right there. Probably the most entertaining thing of the whole race, in my opinion. So, I wonder if there's going to be more to that coming up. But needless to say, Hocevar is not making any friends out there. Now, as far as the racing goes itself, like I said, absolutely horrendous. Awful. Bad. Terrible. Any synonym you could think of. No passing throughout the field, hardly. There were no green flag passes for the lead whatsoever at any point in the race that were not on a restart or a pit strategy. What kind of racing is that? Richard Petty said himself on a podcast that Ty Gibbs, the best car of the day, couldn't pass nobody because he just stopped when he got up to somebody. In his words, he got up to 50 yards behind him and couldn't go anywhere. And we saw the same thing with the battle for the win at the end of the race. Christopher Bell closed up to within 0.3 of a second of Corey Heim, and he stopped. Couldn't make up any more ground after that. Joey Logano was 2 seconds back of the top two. He closed up to within 0.8 of a second, and then he stopped. Couldn't go anywhere. There is just way too much downforce in the front end of these cars. Like, you could try to suck up to these cars, but you can't. You get so much aero push that you end up running the same speed as the car in front of you on these flatter tracks that carry speed like Indianapolis. And the short tracks especially had that problem. We saw it at Martinsville back in the spring. We cannot keep having races like this with this next-gen car. You've got to lighten up on the downforce. A lighter front end will allow the aerodynamics to suck you up to these cars and draft better, and potentially have an easier impact on the car in front of you in terms of getting them aero loose or just making the move on your own. You can't rely on the best drivers in the world in front of you making one mistake in order for you to make a pass. That's not racing. I'm sorry. That's just not racing right there. Something needs to be done, or else this race may get pulled again. I don't want this race to get pulled again. It's a crown jewel, Kyle Petty. Anyways, now as far as the in-season tournament goes for the Cup Series, we were down to the final two this past weekend, Todd Gilliland versus Ryan Blaney. And who won it all? Who won the $1 million? Todd Gilliland. After an unfortunate setback for Ryan Blaney via a wreck on a late restart, Todd Gilliland snuck through, took advantage, and held off a charging Blaney to win the $1 million from Front Row Motorsports. This is big for Gilliland and that small team right there. Does that mean there's going to be momentum moving forward for the team? We'll have to wait and see on that, but they need to get their cars running better first. Other than that, this is what this tournament's made for. People like Gilliland to have a chance at something big during the season, even if they're not competing for wins necessarily on a regular basis like these big teams are. So props off to Gilliland and the team for surviving and thriving all the way through to the final and ultimately locking up that check. This is big for Gilliland. Let's go to the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. Carson Kvapil, first career win finally, leading a Junior Motorsports 1-2-3-4 finish the first of its kind in series history. Justin Allgaier gave him a fight at the end, but Kvapil was able to hold him off. But no one was really talking about Kvapil's first career win as much as his burnout. He did a burnout over the yard of bricks after he was asked not to. Is it really that deep? Is it really that deep? Well, I'm going to be real with you. I understand the no-no behind that. Like, doing burnouts on the bricks like that can potentially damage them. I understand that. People write their names on them before the race starts. People kiss the bricks during the tours. I toured the track myself. Amazing facility. So it's like, I understand the no-no behind it. But do you really blame Kvapil that much? I mean, I'm sure he's not even thinking about that because he's celebrating his first career win he's worked so hard for so long for. And plus, it's at the biggest, most famous racetrack in the world, at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's like, honestly, I understand the no-no behind it, but it's really not that deep. It's his first career win. Lighten up. Let him have his moment. Then we'll talk about it another day. Now let's go to the Craftsman Truck Series. They didn't run at the Brickyard, but they ran down the street at Indianapolis Raceway Park, the short track. And we saw Layne Riggs with another win in truly dominating fashion. Out of 200 laps contested, he led every lap except for 2. So what does this mean for Layne Riggs? Well, in my opinion, it's just a matter of time for 3 things. 1, he's going to hoist that championship trophy at this rate. 2, he's going to get himself moved up to the next level of racing. And 3, both. I'm hearing that cup rides might become available to Riggs as early as 2027. I don't think he should go that high. I wouldn't recommend jumping from trucks straight to cup. Run in the O'Reilly Auto Parts series next. That series is like the make or break series for cup rides. And plus, the racing is the best consistently in the O'Reilly Auto Parts series anyways. So I would say get an O'Reilly Auto Parts series ride first, run a couple of years there, then go to cup and showcase your talent then. You don't want to be rushed up because we're seeing with the likes of Connor Zilic and others what happens when you rush up to cup too soon. But either way, dominating performance by Riggs nonetheless. And like I said, it's just a matter of time before he hoists that championship trophy. Because at this point, he has completely solidified himself as the favorite for this year's championship. Now, what did you guys think about this past weekend? Let me know in the comments below. While you're at it, leave a like, share this video, subscribe for more content. It's totally free, greatly appreciated, totally helps me out. And don't forget that little bell that notifies you when I upload. And then stay tuned for Fast Friday as... Wait a minute. There's no racing this weekend? You gotta be kidding me. Well, either way, stay tuned for Fast Friday. I'm gonna come up with something. Maybe it can be that 100 subscriber event that I'm talking about. You never know. Stay tuned and keep subscribing. Call your friends, call your loved ones, call your neighbors. We are right there getting ready for our first diecast giveaway. Until then, see you on the road.